Yo, I'm just gonna go through this McDonald's menu and look at all the BS chemicals that they put in here. I'm starting off with the Big Mac, right? Because if I was gonna go to a freaking McDonald's, I'll probably get a hamburger and some fries, right? That's kind of like the classic of what I would get. And look at this junk right here. You can immediately see the ingredients of the Big Mac, bro. Guys, trust, it's just freaking bun, beef patty, lettuce, sauce. Like, bro, don't even look at this junk, bro. Like, this is just BS, bro. We both know there's more to this, bro. Especially the freaking American cheese, this freaking buns, right? It's horrible. There's nothing good up in there. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But let's look at the information. It literally, they hide it in the allergen information. Like, if I click on nutrient summary, I'll just see the freaking calories and protein. All that was pushed by freaking Coca-Cola, right? So I was like, all right, let me look at the real stuff. Let me look like what's actually behind these ingredients. Like, let me really see what the world they put up in here, right? And immediately I noticed that the bun has more ingredients than the sauce. That actually makes no sense. Like, you really want to look on the back of what you eat, because this is actually some BS, bro. The fact that the bun has more ingredients in it than the sauce is actually insane. Like, when you really think of sauce, like think about burger, right? Think about burger right in front of you. If I was gonna think of like the bun, the patty, the lettuce, the sauce, the freaking cheese, and the pickles in there, like I'm sitting here looking at this junk, and you're literally just looking at this, and you're like, all right, I ask you, how many ingredients do you think, like, not how many ingredients, but which one of these items right here, between the bun, the patty, the lettuce, the sauce, between all of these, right? Which one do you think would have the most ingredients to it, right? Just based, right, looking at a burger, like you're looking at a burger. I'm gonna ask you how many ingredients you think are in the bun, or in the beef, or in the sauce. Which one of these ingredients, between the patty, between the bun, which one of these ingredients do you think has the most ingredients to it? You know what I mean? Like, sit here and really think about this. Like, bun would be the last thing I would say. I'm sitting here thinking about a bun. I'm like, it's got flour in it. Um, Beef patty is just beef. Lettuce is just lettuce. Sauce has got to be the sauce, because the sauce, you combine this barbecue sauce. You combine ketchup, ketchup, mayonnaise, freaking mustard. Combine the three, mix it up, and that's the freaking Big Mac sauce right there, right? So it could be that. It could be the Big Mac sauce. Like, I would say the Big Mac sauce. If you're actually using two brain cells, right? You would say the sauce, because the sauce is the only thing that you combine multiple things to get this, sauce, like somewhat liquidy freaking concoction, right? So you would say the sauce. You wouldn't think that, oh, the bun has the most ingredients out of all of it, because it has flour, it's got water in it, it's got some salt in it. Like, you would be sitting here thinking, like, in a bun is probably like 3 or 4 ingredients in it, right? Compared to the freaking sauce, which is just a mixture of everything. And the fact that the bun has more ingredients than the sauce is actually bizarre, right? Now, for me to go through and break down each and every single ingredient, that is just way too freaking long, right? And I can't even like pronounce some of these words, right? So I'll freaking spare you the headache, right? But I'm just gonna point out the big bad, right? I'm just gonna basically tell you outright good or bad. It's just simply, right? But enriched flour, when you see this, you'll see enriched flour, you'll see bleached flour, you see unbleached flour. Like, there's freaking everything flour, right? You don't want any of this. You don't want enrich. You want bleach. You don't want unbleached. You don't want none of that. It's just refined. It's just processed. You don't want none of that, right? You see folic acid. You don't want folic acid in your foods either. Folic acid is man-made. It's synthetic. It's completely synthetic. You can't find this on the surface of the freaking planet, right? Completely synthetic. You don't want that either, right? Sugar, when you see sugar just based right out, like sugar or cane sugar, they're both highly refined sugar, right? It's just BS. Like, sugar ripped out of its natural place. Not in, like, honey is great. Like, getting the sugar from honey is freaking amazing, great. Because, there's things in that, just like an apple, there's things in there that support that sugar right there, that support it. Like, like when you look in the basis of honey or an apple, when you eat those two with the sugar in it, like, there's more than just sugar in those apples. There's more than just sugar in the honey. There's the entire components and the bacteria of everything that creates that honey, creates that apple. And it's more than just sugar I'm getting in, right? So sugar is not the enemy, but refined sugar is a freaking enemy right there. That is some BS, right? Then we go to freaking soybean oil, right? Another big bad. We don't want seed oils in our junk, right? We already know how inflammatory seed oils are. We already know how bad they are. We know that seed oils, soybean, peanut, canola, sunflower, all these freaking monkeys out there, right? All of them are horrible. All of them are nasty. These companies just toss it in there because it's cheap. It's cheaper than using beef tallow. It's cheaper than using olive oil. So they use olive oil blend. So if your place uses if your restaurant says like, oh, they use olive oils, or like you go into a restaurant or anything like that, and they say they use olive oil. They use olive oil blend. Like, let's be serious, right? Like, these monkeys low-key lie and they get away with it, right? So soybean oil, also some BS, right? Let's keep on going through. See salt, see freaking synthetic. What else we see? Vegetable proteins, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this, that all of these been sprayed with pesticides, right? Like, I'm just gonna go and tell you this, all of these are sprayed with pesticides. And it's BS, because it's like vegetable proteins, like, yeah, you can get protein from peas and stuff like that. You can get protein from all this junk. But at the same time, it's like, it's not really as like bioavailable compared to like beef, right? But at the same time, that's the least of my problems here. Oh, sunflower and canola oil. Like, oh shoot, we got more seed oils in here. Not just one, but 2 freaking seed oils. Not just soybean, but sunflower and canola. Both also highly freaking inflammatory. You don't want these chucks. You do not want to consume Cereals to any degree, bro. To any degree. I literally break all that down in my course on like the whole freaking history and all that junk behind it, bro. If you want to check that out. But yes, bro, sunflower or canola oil, you don't want to consume any seed oil. All of it's BS, right? Synthetic, we good. Natural flavors. Natural flavors is also something that you'll see freaking ever, right? Blanket statement. It can be anything. Like they can be anything from anywhere, right? As long as it's naturally derived, technically, then they'll like it can be called natural flavors. Like to put in perspective, right? We have a beaver, and when you think of a beaver has a butt, right? And a butt is they'll call the freaking anal or whatever, right? And then in the butt we have an anal. So in the anal, a beaver has something called anal glands, right? And in the beaver's anal glands in particular, it's called castrus something, castrol, like there's a freaking word behind it, right? I just can't remember the words that like the life of me right now, right? So when we're looking at these beaver anal glands, right? If we strip these out of the beaver, we have something called we have like a anal glands from beaver that have a vanilla musk type scent, a vanilla musk aroma and like taste, right? So with this, we can implant it into food that has vanilla like flavoring, and we can have a vanilla musk taste. Does that make sense? And that is also one of the components. That is one of the things, one of the hundreds of things in natural flavors right there, right? It is called castra something. I can't remember the name for the life of me, right? But it's basically beaver anal glands because they give off that vanilla musk. It's freaking sick. It's nasty. Imagine eating some like vanilla candy and realizing that it like came from a beaver's butt, one of the ingredients, right? It's just not really the move. It's just really not the move. I'm not gonna lie, right? And let me talk about this 100% beef patty. It's cool that it says 100% beef, but that's really all it is. Like, we know it's 100% beef. We know it may not be human. You know, it may be human, it may not be. You know, we don't truly know because, you know, you want to look with distrust compared to trust. You want to distrust the company as far as possible because all these monkeys just want to profit, right? Just makes sense. Like, look at McDonald's. Like, they get their money through people coming in, buying their food. They make food really cheap, really easy to buy so that anyone can buy it, right? Like, really cheap, right? And they use really cheap ingredients too, and so it makes sense. It just makes sense that they just want to profit. You know, really think about what a company is selling. Really think about what they're going for, right? The cheaper the food, the cheaper the ingredients. You know, like the bigger gap from ingredients to how much like you're paying for it. They get the difference of that, right? So we have really cheap ingredients, and we sell it for a little bit like that. You know, we sell it for like something that seems so cheap to everyone else, like maybe $5-4, right? But they got the whole freaking Big Mac for like 20 cents, right? Like, you know, they make a huge profit, right? So the cheaper the ingredients, the more money McDonald's makes, right? So kind of think of that incentive. But they have 100% beef patties, right? Of course, they use hormones in it. They use synthetic hormones and stuff like that in it. It's not organic. It's not grass-fed. It's literally the worst freaking farm factory meat you could actively have or ever consume. But it's just BS, right? Even though it doesn't say that they use hormones and all that, they do actually say if you look it up and check, they will tell you that they use hormones and everything like that. But at the same time, it's still just BS, right? So you just don't want to eat the patty in general. You don't want to eat anything from McDonald's at all. But let's just continue going. I'm just pointing out the big bads. Soybean oil, seed oil is highly inflammatory. We don't want that. That's some BS. High fructose corn syrup, you don't want that junk either. Sugar, just refined sugar. Corn syrup, again, you don't want that. Xanthan gum is a thickener. You don't want that in your food, right? Like, really think about it. Like, these are food additives. Like, xanthan gum right here, right? They literally add this and caramel color. Okay, so yeah, let me point this out for you. Caramel color, xanthan gum, and I'm not even gonna look any further, but xanthan gum and freaking caramel color, right? These are things to make the food feel thicker and look better, right? Like, does that really sound like a food item to try and put something in there to make it look thicker and to make it make it feel thicker, make it be thicker, like the sauce, make it thicker and have it look like an actual sauce? Like, imagine if they didn't put caramel color in it, what would the Big Mac sauce really look like if they didn't put caramel color in it? How runny would it be? Or how freaking just like dripped off? Or what would it really truly be if they didn't have xanthan gum as a thickener in there to keep it together? Like, what would the sauce really be like? You know, like, would it just be straight water? You know, like, really think about it, right? Like, these are things that they're adding to it. These are chemicals that they're just putting in the sauce, putting in the food, just to make it look, smell, taste, feel like food. Like, eating this Big Mac right here is completely only for just satisfaction of consuming a food item. It's just for the freaking taste buds, right? But it's just going to destroy your gut lining, destroy everything in your gut. Not going to add anything to you. You'll be hungry for maybe, an hour? But, like, you wouldn't be true hunger. You could eat, like, 10 Big Macs before you could finish 2 sweet potatoes, that are, like, 2 organic sweet potatoes. Like, it's actually insane on how this isn't food. This is just a food product. This is just a food item. Like, not item, but food product. Food bioengineered, like bioengineered, man-made created item. You don't want this, right? Dang, I'm still on this Big Mac, bro. It's been how long and I'm still talking about this Big Mac right here, right? Xanthan gum, you don't want that. Freaking caramel color, you don't want that. Sugar, just refined sugar, you don't want that, right? Like you don't want sugar stripped out of its natural state, like of an apple of honey. You want sugar from honey, yes, that's good, but you don't want sugar from freaking, just like stripped out of its actual like habitat, right? What else is in there? I'm going past because we gotta we gotta keep it pushing, right? Because I'm still on this Big Mac. I still been talking about this Big Mac for the past few minutes, right? And it's like I'm still I'm still finding fake ingredients. Like really think to yourself, what would be in the sauce? What should be in the bun, right? Really think of how short these ingredients list should be. It shouldn't take up my entire screen to look at all this, right? But let's go down to the milk, right? We have milk. This is probably A1 milk, which is probably tear up your gut anyway. Well, depending on the person. Some people can handle A1 milk. I can handle A2 milk. I can't handle A1 milk. A1 milk will tear me up, but like I'll be going to the bathroom, pooping it all out for real, right? But A2 milk, I can drink that perfectly fine, right? Citric acid, enzymes. I'm not even gonna really like. My goodness, it really is like. Even though I'm pointing all these ingredients out and like really saying which ones are the worst. You just don't consume this. Please don't eat this. But we have freaking polysorbate 80 in this. You don't want that. Extracts of turmeric for color. Wow, see like that ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. Like to have turmeric color in it instead of using like caramel color instead, like that's a plus. That's 2 points. That's too much. 2 points. Like I would have never thought that pickles would have all these ingredients in it, right? But at the same time, that's 2 points right there. That's freaking 2 points. Natural flavors, we don't want natural flavors. We don't want preservatives in our food. Like literally, when we die, our carcass is gonna be really preserved because of all the food we eat. Like my skeleton is gonna be there for freaking eons, right? Just because sheerly on all the preservatives that like I've eaten in my life, right? And as now, I'm still trying to detox myself, clean myself of all these preservatives. I've stopped eating just BS food and continue to work on myself, right? And you got to do the same, bro. Because if you eat like this, bro, like golly, bro, like they're just gonna feel like buns. You're never gonna be able to really like truly heal yourself, bro. Because shoot, I know I felt that way. I felt freaking horrible, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the only reason why I had to pick this junk up to be like pick up health to begin with, bro. Because if not, bro, I was just gonna tear myself up from the inside out, bro. Like I know people that are 17 years old and have have Crohn's right now. Like it's insane. Like Crohn's disease, you don't know what that is. Ulcers in their stomach, and they're only freaking 17, right? So it's like you really want to watch to see what you like, really want to watch and know what you eat, right? And these are the French fries, right? French fries are freaking delicious, right? But I think the last time I went there was a kid and I threw up though because the food's not good for you, right? But we have potatoes, we have seed oils, right? I'm glad the first ingredient is potatoes, right? Like I'm thankful that the first ingredient is potatoes, right? But they're cooked and bathed in seed oils. You have canola, corn, soybean, oh golly, and hydrogenated soybean oil, brother. We got big three in this jumper. We got canola, corn, and soybean. Freaking crazy, right? And hydrogenated soybean oil. Hydrogenate is like the worst of the worst, right? When it comes to hydrogenated soybean oil, or if you see like canola, soybean, any of them, if you see hydrogenated or high oleic, that's the worst. That is like worse than like normal seed oils. Like I would rather drink straight canola oil than drink hydrogenated or high oleic or sunflower seed oils. Like either one. If you just see hydrogenated or high oleic, just avoid them. Please don't consume them, right? But we have natural beef flavor. When you see natural beef flavor, right, or when you see natural orange flavor, natural this flavor, natural that, just assume it's like natural flavor. Just assume it's a blanket term. You don't truly know what's in it, even though it does say natural beef flavor, and then it has like in parentheses wheat and milk derivatives, derivatives. I mean, even though you do see that, it took me a second to see it really, because I wasn't really looking at it right. But even though you do see natural beef flavor, and it does give you this little parentheses, right? Not all the time they give you that parentheses, but sometimes they do. But even still, you don't want to consume natural beef flavors. Assume it and treat it like natural flavors, but just know that it's for the beef. So the beef. Wait, why is there natural beef flavor in French fries? All right, no, that's besides the point, I guess. Despite whatever the world they really do be putting in a crazy amount of ingredients in French fries, bro. Like potatoes, salt, drizzle that junk with some olive oil. Like we can really that's all it should take. That's all it should take, really. Like maybe some pepper on it too. 4 ingredients. Like it should not be this little freaking chunk of ingredients, bro. This is actually insane. But let's continue looking. Natural beef flavors, treat it like natural flavors. Don't consume it either way. You still don't want these French fries. Well, it was like synthetic salt or something like that. It's either synthetic salt or synthetic sugar. I think it's synthetic salt though. What is this? So to maintain color, they literally have things in the French fries so it can keep its color. Like that's insane. You still don't want to eat that. And natural beef flavor contains hydrolyzed wheat and hydrolyzed milk as a starting ingredient. Just don't consume this. I'm really not trying to sit here and like spend 50 minutes breaking down each and every ingredient, but just don't consume this. Okay, I want a sweet treat. I'm gonna pick something for myself. Oreo McFlurry. Oh golly, I know each of these is horrible for you, right? But sometimes something so bad can taste so good. But at the same time, it's like I would feel so horrible like after consuming this. But let me look at the milkshake, right? Golly, the milkshake has less ingredients in it than the freaking burger bun. Like what the freak? That's insane. But all right, we have the vanilla reduced fat ice cream, bro. Reduced fat, bro. That marketing, right? Like when you really think about marketing schemes, like this one right here is saying reduced fat. Yeah, I mean, consume fat, you get fat, right? I assume that was the idea when they started like reduced fat or like freaking zero sugar, like reduced sugar, right? It fits your macros, yes, it'll fit macros on paper, but when it comes to actually functionality and it like working in your body, it'll just freaking destroy you, like just tear you up, bro. Especially like non-fat, like Greek yogurt, or just like non-fat items or zero sugar items. Like it has a place and a purpose and it came from somewhere, right? But at the same time, it being played out like how it is now, like with reduced fat, reduced sugar, like that's just not the way on how it should go. It really is just straight marketing at that point, I'm not gonna lie. And instead of it being fat, they put in other just BS and fillers in it now, right? Like yeah, like they put in literally like, what are these? Like these two are thickeners, carrageenan, freaking worst of the worst, right? But they start putting in other BS to make up for it, right? Like let's say you have a Coke and a Diet Coke. And a Coca-Cola will have like this many, it'll have let's say 10 grams of sugar, right? Just estimating, right? 10 grams of sugar in a Coca-Cola, right? But then a diet zero sugar, instead of it having 10 grams of sugar, since they want to sell like the diet, zero sugar, right? They're instead just going to have a whole bunch of artificial sweeteners in there, right? Which they do. You can literally look, which they just have a whole bunch more artificial sweeteners in there just to sell it to you. So you're not like, all right, so you're getting a zero sugar, yes, but you're just getting a whole bunch of more chemicals in like return, right? So that's why diet is worse for you than normal Coca-Cola, right? But let's continue to look at these ingredients. Like reduced fat is all that is a BS. The scam, the current one going on, the current marketing scheme going on right now is freaking more protein on how protein Pop Tarts and all that BS, right? They low key just put in just like what's that little protein thing they call? Is it called like soy lecithin? I think they just add a whole bunch of that in there, add some type of like cheap protein source and just toss it up in there, right? Like if it says like more protein for like greenwashing, right? It's still just trash, right? But let's keep on going. Milk, refined sugar, cream, corn syrup. You don't want corn syrup. You don't want natural flavors. Remember, blanket term, right? And the thickeners in here, right? Yeah, thickeners. You don't want thickeners in it. What is this? Thickeners in ice cream? Reduced ice cream? I know Chick-fil-A, they can't even say it's ice cream. That's why they say it's ice dream. Like, they're not legally allowed to say it's ice cream, but I think McDonald's somehow is able to say it. But I just don't. There's a McFlurry. I don't know if they're legally allowed to say it's ice cream. McDonald's, I don't know if they are, but I know Chick-fil-A isn't legally allowed to call their thing ice cream because it's just not enough ice cream in it. Like, it's just chemicals, right? Carrageenan is also horrible for you. Vitamin A palmitate, what is that? That one has cetos in it. I think when it comes to milk, if you see vitamin A palmitate or if you see vitamin D3, if you see those are added in there, it's added in there through seed oils, right? Seed oils is like the carrier for it. So if you see any of those, just know it's just seed oils, right? Then we go to the ingredients for the freaking Oreos cookies. Oreo cookies are horrible for you, right? Oh, this is literally what I was talking to you just earlier today, right? Unbleached enriched flour. When you see unbleached, you don't want it. Even it's like, oh, it's unbleached. Like you still don't want it, right? Enriched flour, you don't want that junk up either. And then it just has placed in vitamins and nutrients in there. Refined sugar, palm oil. Palm oil is another seed oil. Soybean oil, another seed oil. Canola oil, another seed oil. You don't eat this, right? You don't eat this. Like this isn't real food. This is just things that are placed in here, right? Invert sugar. Interesting. Don't eat that either. What the freak? Leavening is just baking soda and calcium phosphate, soy lecithin, and chocolate. Chocolate. Oh shoot! Yes, chocolate. Oh, bro, I completely forgot. In a cookie, like in an Oreo cookie, a chocolate flavored cookie, that there's supposed to be chocolate in there. Golly, we got to the very end of the ingredients list without even seeing chocolate. Oh no, we saw cocoa right here. Okay. Golly, bro. Like, but cocoa's still like in like the middle close to the end. Like, what the freak, bro? This isn't even like if you really think about what's supposed to be in a cookie, right? Like I'm thinking flour, and I'm thinking some type of like chocolate or some type of cocoa, right? Chocolate and cocoa are in here, but how is chocolate the second to last ingredient in this? This is actually crazy, right? And we have cocoa all over here, bro. Dang, that's actually insane. I'm not gonna lie. And then natural flavors, yes, of course. Freaking natural flavors, blanket term. They just put up anything up in that junk, right? Of course, we got it all right. I got my Big Mac. I got my Oreo McFlurry. I've checked out my fries. I think that's literally all I would get from McDonald's. Like if I was actually gonna shop for like just straight pleasure. Like, is there anything else I'd want from this junk, bro? This is all horrible for you, right? Like, let me see if I can actually find something that should be good for you, right? All the sauces, those all have Cetos in it, right? Actually, the ketchup may not have Cetos in it. Hold up. We may be surprised here. Ketchup may not have Cetos in it. Ketchup could just be tomatoes. Tomato concentrate, high fructose corn syrup, and natural flavors. Never mind, you don't want that either. You don't even want the ketchup at this place. What the freak, bro? Let me look for something just a little bit better real quick that I want to consume. Big value, nothing. I'm trying to find something just a little bit greenwashed. Like anything with a bun you don't want. The chicken nuggets, I'm not gonna go with chicken. Actually, I will go with the chicken nuggets, low key. I will just for like a split second just so I can show you the ingredients. Okay, this does have a little bit more ingredients in the freaking bun, but it has natural flavors. Does it have Cetos in here? Oh yeah, Cetos are freaking at the top, right? It has Cetos. Oh, it even has nitrogen, soybean oil, enriched flour. At least the first ingredient is white boneless chicken. Yeah, man, like that's a plus. Folic acid, you know, more, more natural flavors over there. Yellow corn flour. What else? Man, it's still horrible. Like I want to eat it either way. Like this is still pretty bad for you. But you know, which one's worse, the bun or the chicken nuggets? And look, he might be the bun, but I think I'm gonna give it to the chicken. I think chicken nuggets are probably worse for you just because like how chickens are raised. So like chickens, it's like hard to raise chicken. It's harder to raise chickens than like a cow because a cow just eats grass. Chicken eats like as a what was it? An omnivore eats both plants and animals, right? And typically, apple slices. And typically on how it works is with omnivores like that and like pigs and stuff like that, it's harder to raise them to really like feed them a surplus of like bugs. So they were typically fed like grains, corn, and soy. That that also contributes to like high high linoleic, and then from there I think that's where high linoleic, and then from there it converts to freaking it harasses you if you already consume seed oils. It just makes things worse. It's kind of like the same bad property in seed oils kind of in chickens when they eat high corn and soy diets and stuff like that. But that's for another time. I talk more about that in my course. I don't really plan to get into that right now. I just want to surely look at these ingredients and complain, right? Because this isn't real food. But apples, calcium, ascorbate, and a blend of calcium and vitamin C to maintain freshness and color. Okay, it makes sense. It's kind of like they could have low-key just did like a lemon squeeze thing. I don't like how like not like just like when they say like absorbic acid is like I think absorbic acid is supposed to be ascorbate. Yes, this is supposed to be just vitamin C, right? But instead of just saying vitamin C in it, they just say some complicated word like that. And low key, I'm gonna do the work now. I'm gonna look up this word for both of us right now, calcium, because I've seen it a few times, but like I just don't really absorb it. Is this really just a vitamin? A buffered pH neutral form of vitamin C combined with calcium. Interesting. I still wouldn't eat it though. Like if it's just like a lemon squeeze, like I'll be down. Like, cause you know how apples, if you slice them up and let them sit for like maybe like a few seconds, a few minutes, it starts to turn brown and stuff like that. That's typically what they're trying to avoid. That's why they have this blend of calcium and vitamin C to maintain freshness and color, to maintain like how an apple's supposed to look. So I assume that's like the same thing that they're trying to do, but I would just prefer them to bathe it in freaking lemon juice, right? Than use that. Just sheerly for my unknowingness of like really having not looked at this one ingredient right here, I'm just gonna avoid it because I'd rather be safe than freaking sorry, right? And now I have apples, I have a Big Mac, I have a drink. Like shoot, I got fries, I got a milk, I got an Oreo McFlurry. That's really, I think that's all I could find that's actually like real, like Sprite. You don't want that. Dang, bro, like genuinely, if I had to like survive, like this food is like survival food, right? If I had to, I would eat it only sheerly just so I can live. But I would be living a pretty crummy life if I did. But this is low key never the move. You should never consume this junk, any of this junk. Even the hotcakes and sausage, you should never consume any of this junk. None of it is real food. It's just created for you in a lab just so it tastes good. But there's nothing else other than taste. There's no actual like value you're gonna get out of it, like for your body or for your mind. It's just gonna deteriorate you further and further and take you farther away from the truth, bro. It's actually insane, right? So never eat anything from McDonald's. Like just flat out, right? Never eat anything from McDonald's. Don't even waste your time on like the condiments or the French fries, right? Because the French fries have a crazy amount of ingredients, right? The freaking world's most famous fries have a freaking crazy amount of ingredients. Don't even waste your time on this junk. Stay safe. And just so you know, I have a course where I dive a lot further into food, teach you how to like really look and see it more. So you can just look at it, it takes you a second, and then you can be like, all right, this is fake food or this is actual real food item, right? It'll take you a second. Like I low-key, like I explain it all in my course. You can literally get a free trial and check that junk out for real, bro. Also, I can yap with you for an hour. We can literally talk about food, we'll talk about what's in your fridge, talk about the clothing you wear. We can literally go into non-toxic living too. We can talk about freaking it all, right? We can even talk about what you just did the other day, right? I literally do an hour free, just yap to you on call for real. And we can just low key yap about it all and join my course. And we can talk about it from there. You know, like it'll be freaking amazing, man. So make sure to check it out and have a great one, bro. And just never eat McDonald's because this is even real food. Like this is just BS, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. But never eat this junk.